just a small chat to tell you about something that I experimented these last 2 weeks. I wanted to experiment before to speak to you about it because I like to speak from a place of truth, you know. So many months ago, I can say even a couple of years ago, when you know this trend that about the celery juice, I'm not following trend at all. So I was like, oh, again, a new diet, a new trend. But you know, I had this big celery from the farmer's market like 2 years ago. I did even a small video where I am naked back of them because they are huge like that. And I tried and my body didn't like it at all. My body didn't like the celery juice. I say, okay, this is not for me. I tested in bioenergy and it was not giving me a plus, you know, so I say, okay. I don't miss anything. And 3 weeks ago, I started to have a very serious itching rash on my belly. I was becoming crazy. And after from the belly, it went up on the rib cage and up under the breast. And I was really becoming crazy. So the only thing that was helping me was to put boiling water, because my acupuncturist told me you have to kill the fire by the fire. So I remember that, and I did that like 5 years ago when I had shingles, and the only thing that was relieving me was boiling hot water on the shingle. And it was because at 3 o'clock in the morning I was wake up, I could not sleep because it was so painful and itching. So I did that and this really helped me. And at that time I was in Corsica. I never had that before. I saw a doctor there and she gave me a medical drug that I don't take. So I was like, ooh, I don't want to take this. So I tested with my friend bioenergetician Bernard and I said, can you test if it's okay that I take this drug, this valacyclovir was? And he said, yeah, your body respond very happy to get it. So I took it and it helped me. In 1 week it was done. But this time I'm not sure it was the same thing. It was not the same kind of and not the same place and not the same kind of thing. So I said, okay, I will not take anything. I will see how I can deal with that. So I started to see eventually what I was eating that could really disturb me. And I realized, speaking with one friend in France, that in January I did 2 weeks online of exercises for the fascia. And the last day, after the last day of 2 weeks, I spoke about that. I think I had for 3 nights. And during the day I was moving, I had no pain and no burning. But when I was lie down to sleep, it was terrible because I had terrible pain in my legs and my whole body, mostly the legs, and burning like crazy. And when I was moving, nothing. And these last 3 days, that usually I know 3 days. I told you about this 3 days thing that is from crucifixion to resurrection. We have these cycles inside of us. So when I have something like that, I give me 3 days. But last 3 weeks ago, it was actually like 3 weeks after I had this reaction after the fascia exercise. I started to have the itching. So I spoke with one of my friends in France who does lymphatic drainage, and she said, I think your lymph need to release toxins. And I say, oh, it makes sense, because I think what I had with the fascia exercise and what I had after, she also told me at that time, it's because when you work on the fascia, you free toxins, but very deep. And it's for that it was like working, releasing. So it's never, for me, I don't see it like a threat or negative. I see like a positive thing. So for that time, she told me, I think it's the lymph. And I said, oh, maybe it's connected to what happened 3 weeks before. And she said, oh, it's possible. And I decided to review my diet. That is already like, if you follow me, you know I'm eating mostly vegetables and fruits, rarely animal protein. I eat some eggs. I had my black coffee, organic, all organic, every morning. And when I had this condition, I said, came to my mind, celery juice. And I was, oh my goodness, I don't like that. And I say, okay, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to give a try. So 10 days ago, I was after, because this itching lasts since middle, like around middle of February. And it was gone at the moment and came back very strong. So, and stronger than before. I was like, and it was when my son was visiting me. So I was like, I don't know what to do. And he said, maybe you should go to the doctor. I said, no, I don't feel it. And came to my mind this celery juice thing. I said, okay, if this come to my mind, it's my higher self, my body also, who is giving me this direction. I'm going to do it. So I started to do it, and I also stopped to take black coffee, to take bread and butter. I take just a tiny piece a day, but before I was eating more bread and butter, delicious bread from the farmer's market, sourdough bread and butter and that, and I love it. And I say, okay, I have to clear this thing. And I started to take the big glasses of celery juice first thing in the morning, not with after my hot water. No, I stopped to take that. By the way, hot water with lemon, it's good and it's not good, because if the water is too hot, it kills the vitamin C. So it's better to have maybe an herb tea if you want something very hot. And to have your lemon juice with water that is not too hot. So I started that, and I'm at big surprise. I loved it. My body was happy. I said, how is possible? Like 1 year ago I tried and I hated this thing. I could not swallow it. And in fact, I did not need it at that time. But now I was like surprised to be so happy. And every morning, first thing, I did that for the last 10 days. And in fact, it's really good. I don't have itching anymore. Maybe it was a cycle also like that. Maybe the toxins were relieved. But I decided to give me 3 weeks. And I am at 10 days now. And in fact, I also stopped. I was doing, the crepes, and I was cooking. I started to eat even more raw than before. And I have quite a lot of fruits. We have berries here in California. We have everything all year long. So an avocado and banana. And the diet that prescribed, that suggests a medical medium. And in fact, I must say that I feel really, really good. I feel lighter. I feel great. So you see, we cannot say never. We always, be confronted in a situation where we don't know what to do, and the solution is coming, and it came from inside. And it was, I'm testing inside. I say, do I go to see a dermatologist? It was no. Do I do? And it was like very naturally came. Take off that, take off that, take off that, take off that. I'm not frustrated. And I feel good. I also enjoy to have this celery juice very, very, very early. I take it and I go back in my bed, and I try to feel what is processed in my body with that. And after I wake up, yeah, I stand up. I'm not sleeping really again. And I do my yoga after maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And it's really good. It's really, it really brings something. So if you have any kind of inconvenience, maybe you can try to do that. And it doesn't cost a lot of money, but you have to fresh, I have an extractor, so you have to drink it immediately, and you cannot bottle and put in the fridge. No. You have to prepare it, and it's also a small ritual ceremony with yourself every morning, so it's not so bad. So this is what I wanted to share with you. And you see, it's like that. We have to arrive to a point of it's too hard to try to start to think what we can do different to help us. And we can do that, it's and it's the same at the collective level. We go in such extremes that after it's like to awakening us to be able to find something else to function differently. And at the collective level, it's the same thing. It's like, it's really, really interesting to observe what is going on right now. I'm watching this thing about, what is going on with Russia and Ukraine, and I see people taking part for one or another one. It's not what's gonna help. Not at all. For me, I have the feeling it's one thing more, but at the unconscious level we created to make us more aware that we are all important, all unique, we all need to be happy and to be free. And I think this is moving our heart, what is going on. It's heartbreaking. So how can we see this outside of us and make in a way that in our life we don't give outbreak? We are here to share, to support each of us. It's really, really important to have a bigger picture. But it's very, very sad. It's really, really disturbing, really deep. I think in the collective psyche, what is going on right now. And people are asking me why you don't support Ukraine, and because I don't take part at all, because I don't know the bigger picture. I don't know what is underlining. All my heart is with people who are suffering, both sides, and all over the world, because there are other conflict that the media never speak about. And why? Because there are no interest in about bringing this to the public. So to condition the mass. So it's really complicated. It's not something to take lightly. And we have to know when we take side, we can be with our heart and our prayer for people who are suffering in this country, especially in Ukraine, but also in Russia. I have a lot of Russian followers, and they are really sad about what is going on because they don't want that. So people don't want that. It's just what is underlining the interest, international interest, government interest. I think we are far away to know what is going on. If we knew, we will be very shocked, and we will be less, we will be more for the collective and less for one part or another one. Because it's really, I think time will reveal, like time revealed since 2 years, what happened, and now people start to be more and more aware about what had happened these 2 years, because a lot of people were totally blind. Now it has been brought at the surface, how we have been lied to. So now it's for that. Now the crisis, health crisis, was fading, and they had to bring something, to create something at the collective unconscious, to attract us on something else and to move us. But beyond that, I want to see that it's to move our heart. It's to move our heart, to see that we are all one, and that we are all touched, and that we are all made of flesh and blood. And there is no one that is more important than another one. So it's that. It's me, I see it like that. People are gonna say I'm crazy, but I have always this kind of bird view. Like I see at one level, but after I elevate and I see that if this thing exists, it's because at an unconscious collective, we created that. It seems crazy, but nothing exists that has not been thought before, that has not been, and we permit, we authorize this since hundreds of years. We let people control us, govern us, manipulate us, and this is why we are where we are now. So this is now, it's a time, in this time of Aquarian era, it's a time for people to be all together, no matter the race, no matter the country, no matter, all together against this corrupt government. This is what is important. And we are powerful. Our power is in the fact that we have to face what is going on and not say, oh, this is like that one is bad, this one is good. No, it's not that. We have to elevate ourselves and see all the links, to be documented, to go and read about history, to read about politics, and see, putting things together, how all this is articulated. Why are we where we are now in this era? What did happen? What are we repeating? What are the patterns? It's the same thing we do in families. There are patterns that are repeating. It's called transgenerational. And when you do a transgenerational analysis, you realize that effectively there is the same kind of pattern repeating. It's the same in between countries, in the same all around the world at the collective level. So it's that, we have to educate ourselves, to don't say, oh, I don't want to see this, is too ugly. By doing that, you let this thing continue. Like what happened with, human trafficking and the children and all that. We have to face the horror that are happening. Because when you see it, I tell you to watch movies about that, but to acknowledge that this is, and to be aware that this is, your consciousness gonna give less room for this to don't be unseen. It seems crazy, but it's working like that. Because your spirit, you will know, you bring at your way by facing a very difficult situation, acknowledge that this exists, not rejecting, saying it's lie, it's fake news, it's conspiracy, but acknowledging you, in fact, bring some light with your light. Because when you say, no, I don't want to see that, we come from spirit, we come from the divine source. It's light. So if we say no to that, we don't let our light to shine the world. And it's what we have to do. And we are not obliged to go and fight on battlefield. We can just be aware and consider what is brought to us that can be painful, that can be horrible. But wow, this is happening. When I arrived in that country 22 years ago, I don't remember how, on something about missing people. And I was like, wow. And I dig a little bit. And I discovered at that time it was like 400,000 people missing every year in the US. This was 22 years ago, in 1999. And I was like, wow. And last 2 years ago, I saw that it was 800,000 people missing only in the US. Where are going these people? What is going on with that? You know? So when you start to dig, when you ask, you have response. And it's gonna come by a book, by a movie, by something, and this gonna bring you to another one, and you're gonna feel. It's up to you to feel if it sounds right or not, if it sounds true or not. But to feel, you have to be really in tune with yourself. Like, to be open to something you didn't want even to investigate. Like me with the celery juice. Like almost 2 years ago, I said, oh, no, this is a new trend. I tried, no, I don't like it. No, it's not for me. And now I'm happy to have done it because I got the information inside that it was what I had to take. So you see, it's for that we cannot say never, because we never know. And we have the answer inside of us. So if you read or if you look at documentary or video about all this issue that we are going through and that are happening in the world, you're gonna dig more and more, and you're gonna start to really link things together and to really feel intuitively more and more if it's legit or not. And you don't need, because we cannot trust the mainstream media. We know now that they are paid by some corporate, so we cannot, follow the money. It's always that. But it's for that we have to be in tune with ourselves, because it's only us that we can trust. We can trust only ourselves, our intuition, our instinct of preservation. It's really, really interesting, because more you are out of distractions like TV and radio, and more you choose what you want to see or read, and more you develop this kind of openness, open field of yourself that connect to the, would say, universal knowledge, and more you know exactly what to do when to do it. And it's an amazing process. It's magical. I live that. I witnessed that several times in my life, because I've always been amazed by, because I listen to these messages coming. I don't say, sometimes it's so crazy. I say, wow, this is crazy, but I have to consider it, So it's that, you have to be in that mode where don't reject all these things that comes to you. Pause, sit in silence, and let be. Just breathe, and you will have information, you will have answers, and you will have direction. You will be attracted by a book somewhere or online. Suddenly an article gonna come, and it's gonna be like, the response, and this, you're gonna go from one thing to another and dig deeper, and you're gonna find things that gonna really make you in this dynamic of opening the consciousness more and more to be one with your wholeness, to be really with this invisible part of ourselves that is fantastic. Because this, as I always say, is just the tip of the iceberg. This, what you see, is the tip of the iceberg. But we are light, we are much bigger than that. Yeah, we are like. So to let flow that through the physical body, we have to have a body as, flowing as possible, with less toxins as possible. I I'm not fan of big detox thing, but maybe I should have, because I would not have this itching thing. But I think this is part of the detox process as well. But because also I have a diet that is quite, light and clean. But our first thing is to have our instrument, our body, where everything can flow without too much to deal with, too much to manage, and like this, when it's flow at the physical level, it flows also, the invisible can flow, and through your physical body you can get messages from the invisible, your invisible body, your invisible side, your invisible being. But for that, you have to have that flow in the body, exercising and breathing well, and be really like creating beauty, and be inspired, be passionate, and be happy about what you have and what you eat, and what you prepare to yourself, and enjoying that, So it's really, really, it's really important. The beautiful color you're gonna put in your body, and how this gonna make you glow, and all that, And so I wanted to share this with you, and I also remember you. I'm gonna post it again now. Our collaboration with Maria and Lankaran Forest and Finisterre is ending on the 8th of February. So if you want to get one of these beautiful fragrance from Maria, that are, chemical free, like just natural molecules of plants and flowers and incense and all this. So you can check. I will post in my story, but it's on my page. You can see me with the 2 bottles of perfume, and you have all the information there. You see it's an orange and a blue one, like some days ago, like 10 days ago. So you can check there, and you support by that the orphanage. Maria is very happy to collaborate for that. So there is 10% for the orphanage and 20% for you. And soon we may have a surprise with Maria. So stay connected. I wish you a very good evening. I'm going to enjoy my tea and read a good book. And coming to see you soon. And with this beauty. I have not made a lot of progress because I have no time to learn online, but I just have pleasure to touch it.